So I want to talk about intermittent fasting and why intermittent fasting is an amazing tool to burn fat and to improve your health. So first of all, intermittent fasting is when you go for longer than 12 hours without food, usually overnight, right? A lot of people will do like maybe an 18-6 or a similar, maybe they'll fast for like 16 hours every day or 18 hours every day, and then they'll have like an eating window, right? So I started doing something like that in the beginning, but I changed my approach to it, and here's why. When you do the exact same thing every single day, the exact same way, your body adapts to it, right? Your metabolism adapts to it. So here's the main thing I want you to know about metabolism. Your metabolism needs variety, right? It's just like your muscles. You wouldn't go to the gym and bicep curl 10 pounds and just only ever bicep curl 10 pounds for the rest of your life, right? You would stagnate. You wouldn't continue to make any progress after a certain point, right? When you first pick them up, you'd get stronger, but then, as your muscles adapted, it wouldn't, after a few weeks or months, it wouldn't give you any more growth or progress, right? Same thing with your metabolism. So you're gonna get great benefits, metabolic benefits, initially when you start intermittent fasting, even if you're just doing like 15 or 16 hours every day. But if you're using it for weight loss, and I hear this a lot from women, they'll say, oh yeah, I'm doing intermittent fasting and like I'm feeling great and my blood sugar is doing good and these other good things, but like it's not working for weight loss. And here's the reason why. You gotta, first of all, there's two main reasons. You gotta switch it up. You can't always do the same amount. There's some days where you should be fasting longer, some days where you shouldn't be fasting, some days where you should be fasting shorter. This is a great place to use cycle syncing, and if you need a free resource on that, I have one. There's certain phases of the month for women when we do better with intermittent fasting and other phases where we do not do as well, especially if you're a cycling woman, right? You don't want to be doing long fasting the week before your period. That's just a recipe for disaster. We are not built to fast during that progesterone week, right? That's when we're hungrier, we crave carbs. Don't do long fast during that week. It's just really torturous and it can cause hormonal imbalances. Anyway, the other thing is, if you really want to move the needle when it comes to burning fat, you need to do longer fasts. Now, you don't need to do longer fasts all the time. I'm totally about getting the most bang for your buck with the least amount of effort. So this, as a active female athlete who also likes engaging in intermittent fasting, this is the magic that I've come up with for myself. I do once a week, unless it's the week before my period, I do once a week where I fast for the entire day. I fast for 36 hours. Now, if you've never fasted before, or if you've only done like 16, 36 might sound like a lot, but I didn't start with that, right? I worked my way up. Now, think about it. Humans have been fasting for as long as humans have been around this planet, right? It's something that we are naturally very good at. Our metabolisms evolved along with fasting. Think about our primal ancestors, and even our ancestors up until, like 100 years ago. Didn't have grocery stores, didn't have drive-thrus, didn't have, easy, convenient food at their fingertips, didn't always know when their next meal was coming from, right? So our metabolisms evolved that way, and they still function the exact same way. So we just kind of need to, it's like retraining a muscle. You need to remember, right? Your metabolism needs to remember, but humans do great with intermittent fasting overall. And there's so many other health benefits besides just burning fat, right? It's like deep cleaning your house. It's like a reset for your metabolism. It will metabolize out cancerous cells. It'll clean out the junk. I mean, there's so much good research on intermittent fasting. Just we as women need to do it intelligently and kind of around our hormonal cycles. Also, if you've already gone through menopause, you have a little more flexibility there, but still, variety is still key, right? You don't want to be fasting for the exact same number of hours every single day because you'll plateau. Your body will get used to it, right? So, going back to what I was saying, once a week, I'll do a 36-hour fast, which is a day and a half. Now, why do I do that? 36 hours, according to research, is the magic number for the belly fat burning ability that we want. Here's the thing. When your body goes into a fasted state, it does something called autophagy, which is like deep cleaning your house, the thing I was talking about. That happens after about 17 hours of fasting. We tap into this healing state, this deep cleaning state that our body has. Now, when you're going to deep clean your house, you probably have an order of priorities of things that are more important and less important, right? You're like, okay, I really need to get after the bathroom and the kitchen. And then there's some other things that, you probably leave to last because they're not as important, right? Well, your body's the same way. When it goes into the state of autophagy, this deep healing, deep cleansing state, it has an order of priorities as well. And guess what is last on that list? Burning belly fat, right? It's going to do everything to ensure your survival, to make you stronger, to clean up the junk and the gunk. And, can you survive with a little bit of belly fat on you? Yeah, you can. So that's last on the list. So they found through research that it takes really at least 36 hours of being in a fasted state before your body's like, okay, I've done all the vital important things that I set out to do. Now I guess I can turn my attention to burning some belly fat for you, right? So that's the reason I do 36-hour fast. Now, you don't have to do that all the time. And the thing is most of the days, the days I'm going to the gym, obviously I don't do long fasts like that, right? Because I need to get plenty of protein and I need energy. So most days, if I'm working out like 4 days a week, I'm not fasting. Well, I might do a minimum of like 13 or 14 hours overnight, which I'm kind of already doing because I'm not really an early morning breakfast person. But I'm making sure that I'm eating enough on those days, because intermittent fasting isn't about starving yourself. Not at all. It's a therapeutic tool that is a wonderful tool when used appropriately. So I eat a lot most days, and I focus on getting 150 grams of protein every day because that's my body weight, right? I eat my body weight in grams of protein. But then once a week I take a break. I give my metabolism a break. I take a rest day where I don't work out at all, and I let my body do its thing, and then I get into that belly fat burning state. And it's just been such a wonderful balance. So if this is something that you want to work up to, try a 24-hour fast. That's where you could, have one meal a day and then go until the following day. And just work up to it. You don't need to start off with 36, but once you get comfortable with it, maybe try it a couple times a month. And that is where the magic is. So when someone says, I've been doing intermittent fasting, but it's not working for me to really lose weight, it's because you're not fasting long enough, right? And it's not just going to take one fast. I mean, granted, you will see the pounds come off in just one fast oftentimes, but it's something that when you incorporate regularly, let's say you did it twice a month for 6 months, then you're going to start seeing some results. Now, when you're fasting that long, you want to make sure you're getting plenty of electrolytes, you're staying hydrated, you need salt. I always add salt to my water or drink sugar-free electrolytes while I'm fasting because that helps prevent any of those symptoms like feeling dizzy or weak or faint. And if you feel any of those things while fasting, you need electrolytes, you need salt. But yeah, I have other podcasts all about this, about intermittent fasting for women, so I can link those. You can check those out as well if that's something that you're interested in diving in more. But intermittent fasting is a wonderful tool. It's just, as women, we have to know how to apply it to use it to our advantage so it doesn't cause hormonal imbalances. And if you're a female athlete, you also need to know, how can I use this strategically? A lot of female athletes, especially those that are really serious about their sports or about lifting, they won't do intermittent fasting because they say, oh no, it'll cause muscle loss. Not when used appropriately. I'm all about strategic, intelligent, and appropriate use of these therapeutic tools. And when you know how to do that, that's when you get the most bang for your buck.